When we talk about shifting timelines, there's a very interesting phenomenon called the Mandela effect. When you look at the Mandela effect, there's many people who have a false recollection or a very strong recollection of Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. When in reality, what happened was Mandela didn't die in prison in the 80s. Mandela died in 2013, aged 95 years. This phenomenon is widely misremembered, and no one can explain why this happens. But this phenomenon is called the Mandela effect, where a mass group of people recollect an event very differently. So some examples of the Mandela effect are people misremembering that Jiffy is the name of a peanut butter brand, that Mr. Monopoly wears a monocle, that Mickey Mouse wears suspenders, misremembering that Sinbad played a genie in Shazam. So the Mandela effect is very similar to deja vu, where you kind of had a feeling that I've been here before. Why does this happen? That's kind of like a glitch in reality, where timelines kind of collapse. They kind of superimpose on top of each other. And so something that hasn't happened yet, you kind of feel like this has happened before. So when we think about shifting to different timelines, the main thing you have to understand that this theory proves, is there are different possible sectors of reality that can be manifested. Okay, there's many different sectors of reality in this quantum realm. Right now, they're all superimposed. When we have a particular attitude, in accordance with our attitude, we manifest the future lifelines. We choose which lifeline we're moving towards. We choose what script is playing. This is the film and script model of reality. So, to give you an example, when I'm faced with an important decision, there's two things I can do. That's a fork in the road. If I pick one decision, I would manifest one lifeline. If I pick another decision, I would manifest another lifeline. Now, it's not the action of the decision itself that determines which lifeline will manifest. It's actually the intention behind it. Because the intention is what comes first, and then the action is what ensues after, right? What is intention? Intention is our resolve to do and to have. When we have a resolve in making a decision, that's what will happen. So for example, if I'm faced with two decisions, starting my business now versus starting my business later and staying in my job. Person A has the resolve, a very strong resolve of becoming a successful business owner. But let's say they make the decision of not starting their business now. Sure, they would go the lifeline where the business doesn't start now, but it doesn't mean they would go the lifeline where the business never starts, right? Because their resolve is, I want to be a successful business owner, I'm just not starting the business now. Whereas person B could say, you know what, I'm going to burn the boats and start the business now, because they have a different aptitude for risk, right? So they say, okay, I'm going to go all in on this. My resolve is to start the business. I'm going to go all in and I'm going to start this business and take it to the level that I want to get to. Now, this doesn't mean that one person won't have a business and the other person will. Both people will ultimately converge to the same lifeline. It's just there's different events along the way. This is that timeline, okay? Both people in this instance could have a successful business at the same time. They could have the same business doing the same amount of revenue at the same time. But it's just that one person, the person who said, I'm going to burn the boats and go all in, they might have taken a little bit longer to get there, even though they burnt their boats and did the harder thing. The person who said, you know what, I'm going to keep working in my 9 to 5, save up money, and then when I have enough capital, I'm going to go all in on the business. So I don't have to worry about money running out. They both could have the business at the same time. So the key thing to jumping between different timelines is using intention. Whatever you intend, your resoluteness in your decision to have and to act is what will determine which script plays and which version of reality unfolds. So a better way I can describe this is the purest form of resolve is my decision to have something. When I say I will have this, I do not care how and I do not care when. It will simply happen because I have chosen it to be so. And if I feel strongly in my resolve, my heart and my mind are very congruent and aligned in that resolve. Guess what happens? That lifeline solidifies even more. So that's why manifestation works. When you say affirmations to yourself, what are you doing? You are strengthening that feeling in your heart and your mind. When you do visualization, you're strengthening that feeling in your mind and your heart. When you have positive thoughts, you're feeling positive. You're strengthening that resolve. Similarly, when you hate something, you're actually manifesting that lifeline that you do not want. Because reality is very neutral. It doesn't care about hate or love. It cares about the intensity of feeling. Whatever you feel intensely about is what you will manifest, is what timeline will manifest. So now, one quote that will really make you understand this is a quote by Napoleon Hill that I love, where he says, "A weak plan executed with a definiteness of purpose will triumph over a strong plan executed with an indefiniteness of purpose." So in this quote, you understand that it's not the strong plan or the weak plan that makes the difference. Really, it's the definiteness of purpose that makes a difference. So in my life, when I quit my job to start my own business, I was in a very dark place at the time because I had to prove to my parents that what they invested in my college tuition wasn't just moot, the $250,000 that they'd invested, that it was, somehow going to get them an ROI, even though I chose not to go into that cushy, comfy engineering career that they thought I would go into. So I took the leap and started up my online business, and they were supporting me at the time I was living at home. My resolve was very strong. I didn't have a plan. I simply knew that somehow I would figure it out. I have made the decision and somehow I will figure it out. And so I started my business at zero, and every single day my dad would come to my room and say, "Have you made any money yet? Have you made any money yet?" And that would just make me so frustrated, give me so much pressure. Oh no, I have to prove something to him. I have to prove to him that I can do it. And the more pressure I put on myself, the more I establish to reality, it's not happening. Why isn't it happening? Please happen. Please happen. When I keep establishing that, I'm manifesting the timeline of it's not happening, it's not happening, it's not happening. But then 1 month, May of 2019, I had a dark night of the soul, and I was like, fuck it. It can't go on like this. That was the worst month I've ever had in my business, and I was like, my worst nightmare came to life. What else do I have to lose? And then all of a sudden, all the pressure from my body just dropped. And when all that pressure dropped, I simply just put one foot in front of the other. I got on the sales calls with my prospects, I presented my offer, and boom, they started closing. And I started to make money. And then my videos started to go viral. Everything that I wanted to happen, happened. All because I let go. And that's what happens when you have true faith. Faith is somehow it's going to happen. It's a blind trust in the unknown. Belief is trust in the known and the seen. With belief, you can create more of what is. With faith, you can create more of what could be. In order to create a timeline, to manifest the timeline that you want to manifest, you must operate on faith. And you must have resolve in your decision. You don't have to know how it's going to happen. You don't have to believe it. I never believed that I could do it. But trust me, I didn't believe I could do it. The belief came afterwards. Initially, when I started, I didn't believe that I could build a business that does this and this and this. I didn't. I was not qualified to be a business owner. I didn't know nothing about business, but I trusted in my ability to figure it out. That's it. I had this blind trust in my ability. So that is the crucial part to creating a timeline, is having congruence in your heart and mind, but also having that ironclad resolve and trust in the unknown. That everything that is happening to benefit you. It's working somehow in your favor, even though your little mind can't see it yet. Stop relying on the mind. God has greater plans for you. This way of thinking is how a reality creator would think. Someone who is enslaved to the programs of society, societal conditioning, they would not think this way. How they would naturally think is how I used to think, is I'm born into this life, into this family, into this body, with this mind. This is it. This is it for me. The best I can do is work hard to earn a place under the sun. I can't do anything different. I have to go to school, get a degree, get a job, stay alive, just keep swimming. When I turn 60, I'll retire, and then I'll begin to live my life when all the life energy has been zapped away from me because I did something that I hated. I was in prison for 60 years, and that's it. My bones are achy. That's when I can begin to live my life. That's what they want you to believe, so that they can keep selling you more of their stuff, and you keep becoming a consumer. But when you become a producer, a reality creator, one of the benefits is you don't have a cap on how much you can earn and what you can experience. You can literally have anything you want. It's like being a kid in the store with an unlimited wallet. Doesn't matter. You can just pick what you want. And that is true if you let it. But the only way to let it is to have that blind trust in the unknown and the unseen, that somehow it's going to happen. In order to learn how to create your reality and shift between different timelines, there's two control functions that we all possess: attention and intention. Attention allows you to unattach from this existing script that's unfolding. So for me, I used to be so societally programmed. I believed that, I'm only destined to work a job and earn a salary, and then maybe one day I can rise up the ranks and make, 100,000, 150,000, and not like a couple million that I'm making a year right now. Like that would never be a possibility for me because I wasn't born rich. I wasn't born into a family that is wealthy, and I don't have any kind of capabilities. I'm not some form of a genius like Elon Musk, like Warren Buffett and all these people. I'm not smart in any way or exceptional in any way. So I would never be able to do that. And just see, I didn't have any kind of connections that would allow me to do that. The way I was able to unattach from that is by using attention, by centering my attention. So first you have to unattach from the script. And the next thing you have to do is use intention to choose the new script. So I made a comprehensive video showing you how to do that. All you need to do is click right here to access it, and it will take you through that whole blueprint on how to shift to a different timeline.